Cody, you needed a comeback tonight. You needed to get the job done, but that was beyond a comeback. You were relentless.
Yeah, I think the stadium helped a lot. We knew we had to come back from the 1-0 behind. So we went out there and just tried to create as much chances as possible. And then with the quality we have, we know we're going to get big chances and hopefully score. So that happened, and very good performance, I think, from the whole team, and great win.
You talk about the stadium, you could just feel it went up more than a notch tonight, knockout.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic like always, but they helped us a lot today, and it gives us extra energy every time, again and again, and we are very happy with this club, with these fans.
Very happy with the season as well. I spoke to you right at the start of the season, and you were talking about how you wanted, as a team, as a club, to win everything this season. You're already in one final. How achievable is the rest?
Yeah, we are on the right track, but it's we have to take it game by game, step by step. So today, good job done. So we are in one final, but we have a lot to play for still, and we have to stay calm and focused to reach as much as possible.
I know that, but everything just seems to be falling into place for you.
Yeah, we are in a good flow at the moment, but we have to keep going. So you know how football goes. It's about consistency, and we have to keep the momentum.
I know what you can see what's coming next, and it's been a while since we did this. We did it a lot last season because you won it a lot last season.
No, I didn't win it. I always gave it away.
You always gave it away between you and Curtis, but this is your very own semi-final player of the match, Cody. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
On aggregate, and it kind of felt, really, didn't it, like it was never in doubt?
It was never in doubt before the game. It was Tottenham. When did Tottenham ever win a big game? When did Tottenham ever go somewhere and surprise you and, win against the odds? The odds were massively in favour of Liverpool. They're at home at Anfield. They're the best team in the country, possibly the best team in Europe right now. But it's not just this Spurs team. It's just they never shock you. They never do something out of the ordinary. I'm trying to think the last big game they won. And I'd probably have to go back to that Ajax game in the semi-final of the Champions League. And I was in the stadium that night. And I don't want to take nothing away from Tottenham. They're very lucky. They got battered for most of the game. And a bit of a freak. I think they got 2 goals in the last minute. But whenever they go into a big game as a football club, no one ever believes they're going to win. And that's not me as a Liverpool fan. Those Tottenham fans there tonight, not one of them will have believed that they'd have gone home and they'd be going to Wembley. They just won't.
Isn't it strange that Liverpool put 4 past them? Liverpool are in the final, and there is no doubt amongst the group here that Tottenham are the story.
Yeah, I think because we just expected a bit more from them tonight. I just cannot get my head around not having one shot on target in a semi-final. I know the one half chance when Son manufactures something, great step over and then hits the bar, but even then you just felt the game had gone for them. And I just think when you set you come into a semi-final, and I know it's always difficult because you're 1-0 up and you come to Anfield, and we all talk about the pressures and the noise and everything that goes around it. But I just felt first half they're trying to play it from the back, the goalkeeper's edgy, in midfield they never showed any courage to get on the ball and make things happen. They were so abject. And it wasn't the inexperienced players, it was the experienced ones that I was looking at and thinking, well, go on then, lead the team. Son's your captain, show something, show some character, get on the ball. Kulusevski, nothing. And I think it's too easy to say, well, yes, they have had injuries. They've absolutely, Van der Ven. I say less about Romero because I think I watch him enough and he can give away a lot of goals when I watch him. But Van der Ven is obviously a big miss. But there's still enough players there to cause Liverpool some problems. I've seen squads beaten Tottenham lately. I look at Ipswich. Do you think Ruud van Nistelrooy would have loved to have had that Tottenham squad beforehand, but they still get beaten by Ipswich? Crystal Palace beat them. There's so many different games. I know you did the Everton game not long ago, Jamie. Everyone seems to find a way of beating this Tottenham side. And I think the manager right now, he baffles me with his tactics sometimes. I think he's completely lost in what he's trying to do. He said, this is what I do. You have to adapt. You have to change. And if you haven't got the personnel that you want, then you have to make sure that your tactics are different. You look at what Newcastle did yesterday. Eddie Howe showed a way of beating an Arsenal side by going man-to-man, being aggressive. Newcastle will not give the respect that what Tottenham gave them today. And I know Newcastle are a better side, but they're more aggressive and they'll get on the front foot. Tottenham showed him miles too much respect today.
Do you think that's... listen, we've all been critical of the manager, me going back to the 6-3 game. But when I look at those three midfield players today, I thought they were a disgrace. Those Tottenham midfield players. No matter who your manager is, you're playing a semi-final. We're talking about them getting on the ball, but we all come into this game, and if you're a Tottenham man, you know, minutes, half an hour, Liverpool are going to be on the goal, going to put you under pressure. But get after them, be aggressive. Forget the ball the first half an hour. Be aggressive, you know. Even if you're counting your own half, it was still so easy for Liverpool to get to the edge of the box and just
I think this is where they're at the moment. I've seen them.
What does that mean where they are? I'm just not
how bad they are. How poor they are. I saw them against Everton. They got blown away 3 in the first half. Played Leicester last week, and you're thinking Leicester turn up to the Tottenham Stadium. Surely they can't win. They hadn't won in 7, lost 7 on the bounce, and they come and do. Spurs have got this performance in them, and that's why I came here and I said for Spurs to go through, they had to play to their level. And Liverpool had to have an off night, and it couldn't be any worse. It went the other way. Liverpool absolutely hounded them all over the park.
But pre-match,
were far superior to
pre-match, we're all saying, actually, that looks like quite a physical Tottenham team there. You know, they've brought Danso in, that midfield three. We're all saying it looks like a physical team, but it wasn't a physical team.
Well, I think he picked that team thinking, OK, we're not going to come here for how we've criticised Ange Postecoglou. Let's not forget, we've called him naive at times, putting, full-backs into midfield, leaving themselves open. That looked like a team that was picked before the game that was actually saying, you know what, we're going to try and make it difficult for Liverpool. We're going to go with powerful players, no number 10s, just 3 proper central midfield players. So this, in terms of actually getting on the ball, yes, they lost the ball for the first goal, but I thought that was a team to try and stop Liverpool and nullify Liverpool. And I think, well, OK, that's what most teams would probably do, come into Anfield with a 1-0 lead. But those 3 midfield players didn't even put a challenge in.
So easy to play against them. So easy.
Oh, shocking.
But bearing in mind, when we were at Newcastle last night, one of the things that was specifically said to us by Eddie Howe and Kieran Trippier, amongst others, we knew we had to go out and be physical and get in their faces.
Get into them. I think that was a massive banner behind
It was, yeah.
In the Gallagher end, saying, get into them. Make it difficult for them. Set the tempo. And that's always a thing that you have to do here. And I totally get the game now where you have to play out from the back, but there are times, and more than any place in world football right now, this isn't a place to do it. The keeper gets the ball. He's passing it to his left back or right back. They're playing out. They're trying to play into midfield. They're losing the ball. You're asking for pressure. It wasn't working. So then you have to think, all right, well, why don't we then clip one into the space? You've got Son who's quick enough. You've got Kulusevski or you've got Richarlison trying to get hold of something. Oh, Virgil van Dijk was too strong for Richarlison, but maybe try something else. Maybe come up against the other centre-back, Konate. But they were just playing into Liverpool's hands. Liverpool wanted that game, and that's exactly what Tottenham gave them. And it was just, you cannot keep doing that. It's just a sign of madness when you keep making the same mistakes.
There's a lot of positives that we can talk about with Liverpool. We've been singing their praises all season long. But where does this leave now Ange Postecoglou in his tenure with Tottenham after this result?
Yeah, it's not good because they had the lead going there. And also, I think he'll be really upset that he did change a little bit, right? And then once you concede a goal, it's kind of like, uh-oh, now what do we do? Do we continue to play defensively where they were getting nothing on the other end of the pitch? Or do we start to open up a bit and try to play? It's like, telling me to come to work and say, oh, be like Nigel today. I mean, I could try, but it's going to be impossible. And so I think that's what the frustration was Tottenham today. They tried. Everybody said, all the analysts said, oh, can you tweak it? Can you play this way? They tried, and it still didn't work. And I think, like I said earlier on, they were in trouble from the beginning, no matter which way they went with the injuries and with changing too much, maybe.
That's a brilliant point that Grella makes, because we talk about how many times, and there's different ways to win a football match and win ugly. And we talked about game management and how Tottenham lack in that game management aspect of it. They tried to match Liverpool today by playing football. They don't have the same quality of players. They don't have that same system that's been drilled in Liverpool. And Liverpool have never really deviated from their system from the start of the season. You've gone from front foot, adventurous attacking football. Now all of a sudden you want to go to Liverpool and say, OK, we're going to be a bit more defensive, solid. And these players have been playing that way the entire time. It's hard to adapt as a player. There's nothing worse than as a player when you're playing that front foot, you're always getting in, closing people down, then all of a sudden you're told to change and be defensively minded and be comfortable without the ball. It's so annoying. I've done that so many times in my career when managers worry so much about their opponents. It irks and irritates the dressing room. I'm not saying that's the situation with Ange right now, but I personally feel that the best option for him today would have probably just been stick to your guns. It's a
Yeah,
cup
but
game.
don't you feel like he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't? Because if he had stuck to his guns, we would have probably sat
Well, he's
here.
been sticking to his guns the whole entire season, so why change now?
They were 1-0 up. If he could have just tweaked it and maybe hit on the counter.
But why change now? You've gone against it. Why change now? Managers and people, you know, friends who've gone into management, they've always said the same thing. I want to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. Ange's been doing it his way the whole entire time, and I'm sure now that noise is starting to creep in a bit, and he's changed it. But again, it's Liverpool in full control from start to finish. If you're going to go down swinging punches.
Yeah,
at least try and knock
I understand what
out.
Nigel's saying. And the other thing, you know, Nigel said, and he's going to bring up a play of how they tried to play at times, and the goalkeeper would give the ball away and play right into Liverpool's hands. And the reverse was, hey, go long and play in their end. And yeah, okay, fine. That's a talking point as well. But it's like, again, it's like pick your poison. Do you want to try to play out and create something where you get them to bite and now you have the space behind? Or do you just want to play long into them all day? They'll win the first ball, second ball.
But you've got more chance of trying to win the second ball if you got it wrong.
But my point is, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter.
Was it a case of Liverpool was just too good for Tottenham in every category?
Too good. Way too good. Big Ange could have played any system he wanted. He could have gone long. He could have tried to play short. It didn't matter tonight. It didn't matter in Anfield. There's too much quality. And the funny thing is, I think, is that Tottenham want to play like Liverpool.
I would say
Tottenham want to play like Liverpool, but Liverpool just do it so well. They get so many numbers forward. They have so much balance going backwards.
In order to arguments that I would say there's elements of that game watching it that Liverpool players wanted it more than Tottenham players. The competitive aspect of it.
I don't know.
There's a lot of Tottenham players that didn't compete to the same level. If you look at Liverpool already, what they're achieving, Gakpo was fighting. All these players who don't regularly play, a few of them, they're fighting. They're losing the ball and they're running back. They're sticking tackles in. You were talking about Conor Bradley's tackling a bit. Tottenham didn't have that same fight. And that, for me, sometimes isn't always on Ange. So I think there's an element where some of those players have to take responsibility. Yes, you don't have all your regular starters, but you can still compete. There's no reason why you can't compete and show a bit of fight. This is a semi-final of the Cup.
Tottenham looked very, very lost today. Whether because he changed a little bit in the first half or not, but they were very lost. The first goal comes from the cheapest giveaway ever in the middle of the field, right? They couldn't put plays together. They didn't hit on the counter really effectively. I felt like they struggled really bad. I think they'll look back at this 90 minutes and say, wow. I mean, either way, we're trying to say that it would have been a difficult task, but 4-0 and then the way that they played, I think is difficult.
They ran away with it in the end. Well, if Ange is going to win a trophy in his second season, like he said he normally does, now he's just got the FA Cup. They'll play Aston Villa this weekend, and then, of course, the Europa League, where they're still looking to end their 70-year trophy drought, and Liverpool, who are fighting on every single front still this season. They've got the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League as well to contend with, as the final is set for March 16th. Obviously, we've got to talk about Liverpool and give them their flowers because it was good from them tonight. But in terms of Ange Postecoglou, I mean, you're a betting man, Grella. You like keeping up with the odds. The odds are increasing for him to get the sack. I mean, do you think this could be imminent that we see Ange Postecoglou depart from Tottenham?
Well, he's the favourite, right, in all of England now to get sacked, and the 14th position doesn't help them at Tottenham. Again, I'm not saying that he should or shouldn't get sacked, but what I'm saying that I don't know if he solves all your issues. I don't know if you get rid of Big Ange and bring someone else in, if he can do a better job, because obviously there's bigger issues going on at the club. No matter who you bring in, they have the same type of results. Saying that, being where he is and losing the way he's been losing and the amount of injuries and everything else, that is a Big Ange associated problem. So even when Tottenham are not doing well and they haven't won, they're still okay. Right now, I'm not so sure if they're okay, even in a game tonight.
Why do you say that? Why do you say you don't see if they're okay? Is it body language of what you've seen today, just the competitiveness? And at the end of the game, you look at the Tottenham players, they look very deflated.
Exactly.
And again, that's going to fall on the responsibility of Big Ange. But at the same time, there's another conversation of Daniel Levy, the guy who's been running the club for so long. We talked at the start of the game.
Who does it fall on?
It's not just one person. I think there's a bigger problem at Tottenham, and it's always been a big problem. You talk about the culture of the club and what's been created. So many great winning managers have gone there to Tottenham and struggled to win and gone elsewhere and still been successful. So what does that tell you? It can't always be every single manager that goes to the club.
Daniel Levy, would you be worried about your job now?
I don't think Daniel Levy is going to be worried about his job. He's been doing Tottenham for so long. From his perspective, he's a fan, but it's a business first. And from a club perspective, they're financially doing well. Everything in that sense, they're a very healthy run club. But for what the fans want of being competitive and winning trophies and winning things, competing with the likes of Liverpool and all these other clubs, they're far off it. They're far off it. And even if you look at the players and the recruitment that they've done so far compared to other teams, they're nowhere near.
There's a difference also, though, between being in 14th place and being around the top 4 or around the top 6. And, okay, maybe you don't win trophies, but you play decent football and you give big teams big runs. And then there's what Ange is doing here, right? On a night where we're like, okay, how's it going to go tonight? Do they have a chance? I mean, not only...
see some hope for them.
Exactly. Not only do they lose 4-0, but it was a confusing display, I think, of football, like tactically as well. The buy-in of the players, I think Nigel makes a great point. Like there was a lack of fight, a lot of confusion. Even the set piece says everything for me at the end. Van Dijk just goes untouched. Most dangerous guy on set pieces, one of the best center backs in the world, goes untouched, rises up, smashes it in, and no one's near him. Bunch of scared faces just jumping up with him. So that's got to be the responsibility of Big Ange. There's a difference between top 4 and 14th, and that's on Ange.
Well, there was a lot of players that played out of position tonight, wasn't there, Nigel? It was a good watch, obviously, if you're a Liverpool fan, but the internet's going crazy right now because this is a look at Daniel Levy. I mean, there's some shouts that he's asleep in the stadium. He is awake, but he doesn't look entertained, does he? Which is what I suppose Ange's tagline has been.
No, that's his normal face, Poppy. That's his normal face. Seen that face a lot.
I didn't say he's asleep. That's Twitter
listen,
for you.
I would say, watching back on that game, reflecting on that game we've just witnessed there, it's hard to come out with any positives for Tottenham. The overall positive I do see in Tottenham is, for me, they've got a bright future with a lot of the young players coming through right now in the academy that we've seen some of. So that's the only thing. Bright future, but Tottenham fans want to win now. That's the only positive I can say. But reflecting on that, it's the same scenario. I think it's a bit of both. It's Ange, it's Levy, it's the culture at the club. We talk about all the injuries which are happening at the club. Richarlison starts today. He goes down and it looks like it's a calf injury. It never seems to end. And it can't just be the players. You know, it's the training method. It's everything else that comes with it. You've got so many injuries. Injuries is part of football. But you have a tremendous amount more injuries than other clubs do. So where's the blame lie?
Yeah, I mean, for the